Welcome, badminton fans, to the Thai capital, a cacophony of sound, colour, cuisine and glinting waterways. Bangkok, the world's most visited travel destination. Our venue, the colossal Impact Arena, playing host to our continuing three-week badminton bonanza. The World Tour has stuttered gingerly around a COVID-ridden globe through 9 tournaments, culminating in this. For the top 8 performers, it's one of those very special weeks. Terrific light show setting stage, and well, ranking points from 9 qualifying tournaments were considered in order for players to be eligible for this belated flagship event, the HSBC BWF World Tour Finals. Welcome to the season finale in Bangkok. Well, the top 8 qualifiers in all 5 categories will compete for that, the HSBC BWF World Tour Finals plaque at the end of this week, and of course there's over $1.5 million in prize money to be shared out. So much up for grabs. A trio of doubles to get us underway. First, it's a men's doubles. Last week's Malaysian losing finalists Chia and Choi take on Korean first week semi-finalists Choi and Seo next to each other on the world ranking list. Women's doubles second seeds from Korea, Kim and Kong, fresh from last week's rampant run to the title, or make light work of the German debutantes Effler and Hertrick as they did last Thursday. Our third match is a men's doubles. Can the reigning Thai Masters champions from Malaysia, Ong and Teo, avenge that quarterfinal loss 2 weeks ago to the undefeated top seeds, Li Yang and Wang Qilin, or will the Chinese Taipei dream run continue? Then it's an intriguing top 10 women's singles. Korean An Se-young may find it heavy going against the Canadian Michelle Lee, who's been halted twice by the world number 1 here at the quarterfinal stages. Following that, arguably the popcorn match of the day given their pedigree, current world number 1 and twice finalist here, Tai Tzu Ying, takes on reigning world champion PV Sindhu. Though the Indian trails head-to-head, she's got a game for the big occasion. Then later on in prime time, your eye draws to those juicy singles matches, doesn't it? Particularly Victor Axelsen taking on Anthony Sinasuka Ginting. And both those men's doubles look tight as well. So until Friday, we'll be watching 2 groups of 4 matches unfold across all 5 events on 2 courts. Following the group stages, the top 2 ranked players in both groups qualify and extend their stay to the weekend for the knockout semi-finals. That'll be drawn later on Friday. So first up, it's a men's doubles. Last week's Malaysian losing finalists Aaron Chia and So Woo Yip take on Korean first week semi-finalists Choi Sulyu and Seo Sung Jae next to each other on the world ranking list. These 2 teams, 4th matchup between them. Can tell you that the Koreans lead 2-1 head-to-head in this one. So this is it then. HSBC BWF World Tour Finals just about to get underway. Our first match comes from Group B in the men's doubles. My name's Paul Han. Delighted to have Morten Frost alongside. Hi, Morten.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Good to be here. And we are awfully looking forward to this last week in Bangkok. The World Tour Finals, the HSBC BWF World Tour Finals 2020.
Yeah, and for the Koreans, Morten, well, first week semi-finalists, weren't they, Choi and Seo? And they're a debut pairing at the World Tour Finals. I'm wondering whether they might be a little bit more nervous, given that there's so much up for grabs.
I'm not too sure. I think they're very experienced, both of the players. I think they're quite cool and calm regarding this.
Here come the 22-year-old Aaron Chia and So Woo Yik, 21 years old, behind him. Well, first week in Bangkok, they lost to the eventual finalist Goan Tan, and then they lost to Lian Wang last week. And their opponents. Choi Sulyu, 25 years old, from Seoul, and Seo Sung Jae, 23-year-old left-hander behind. So who's it going to be then to get their group stage start off to a flyer?
Versus Jongkonpan Kittitragun and Rawinda Prajongchai from Thailand. Umpire Wahyana from Indonesia. Service change.
Indonesian umpire
Jauhari from Indonesia.
in the chair for this one. So the Malaysians securing their masks in the kit bags, snatching a shuttle from the dispenser, and all ready to go. From Malacca in Malaysia is Chia, and just one spot off of that career high ranking. And as I say, it's been a good couple of weeks for these two. They turned around what was an opening round loss in the Yonex Thailand Open and then became runners-up last week, losing finalists. So done really, really well. As we take a look at the partner of Aaron, Suwoo Yik, just a year younger. And it's been quite a campaign because very tough when you're starting out, having, you know, been thwarted at the opening round stage and turning it around really nicely, showing a lot of character there. They've had a good year. What of their opponents? Choi, 5 years old from the Korean capital, and again, like their opponents, just one ranking spot off of their career high as well. And of course, world rank number 19 from Malaysia take on these guys, the world number 8, so adjacent on the world ranking list, so you couldn't have it any closer on paper. Seo Sung Jae, 23 years of age, 1m82 from Jeonju. So they were kind of struggling as a team all year on the men's doubles a little bit. Sounds quite un-Korean, doesn't it? But they've turned it around getting here. So other teams in the group for your interest, Mohamed Hassan and Hendra Setiawan are also in the same group, as we say hello to Robertus Oscariano of Indonesia, and the Thai service judge just opposite. So yeah, third seeds, Hassan Setiawan also in the group, and Ivanov and Sozanov as well for those interested. They'll be playing each of those pairs throughout the course of the next couple of days, 3 days until Friday. Only 2 pairings qualify for the semi-finals and extend their stay. Morten, quick thoughts reflecting this?
Yeah, both the pairs are quite inconsistent, so I wouldn't like to guess on it, to be very honest. They have a very, very high top level when they play at their very best,
right,
but sometimes
Chia,
it's getting rather
so
erratic.
Malaysia. And on my left, Choi Sok-kyu and Seo Sung Jae, Korea. Aaron Chia to serve to Seo Sung Jae. Love all. Play.
Yeah, Morten, so I guess who can reach the ceiling of their game is what this is all about.
Absolutely. The Korean pair is extremely strong when it comes to their defense. A lot of things are coming back. And when the Malaysian pair is playing at their best, it's when they are attacking. So it's actually quite a nice match-up we are having here. More angle to the last shot from Seo Sung Jae.
Service over.
The first 2 smashes was played like chest height, and the last one into the feet. And that really secured the point and surprised Aaron Chia a bit.
Sole left-hander on court. Seo.
Service over. 3-1.
Well, in their previous 3 meetings, the 2 Koreans had pretty much all ownership until October of 2019, when they lost to the Malaysians in the French Open for the first time. Straight game win for the team in blue and black back then. Keen to repeat that today. Lovely from Aaron.
Yeah, taking the pace off very nicely on that shot from Aaron Chia. Threat with the big smash, and of course the 2 Korean players are backing off, but that's a very nice shot from Aaron. Oh, that's really bad shot from Choi. Getting away with it, saving it. But that block shot to the net was really, really of poor quality.
Yeah, it sat up begging, didn't it?
So it's a very good start from Aaron Chia and So Woo-Yik.
Oh! 6-1.
Well, they've been brave and proactive, that's for sure. And the odd error comes with the territory.
I know I mentioned that the Korean pair is having a very strong defensive, but with a very aggressive-minded combination. I think they like to play aggressive, but it's backed up with a solid defense.
3-6.
That's a nice return. A good lift from Seo Sung-jae. Again, very steep angle from the left-hander from the back. And that's enabling Choi to intercept at the front. Try to have a look at this one. Nice interception.
Service over.
The rotation in the Korean partnership not strong enough. Choi Soo-gyu was standing a little bit too close to the net and was not able to intercept a fairly loose lift from the Malaysians. However, Seo Sung-jae got a lot under pressure. Good serving from Aaron Chia. Very nice serving. See how it's dipping just below the tape straight away.
Service over. 5-8.
Well, starting to settle, the Koreans, you sense.
Oh, too high.
There's no point in asking. It's
Service
simply
over.
deemed to be higher than
9,
115, and that's
5.
it.
Yeah, it's black and white, isn't it?
Yeah.
No negotiation with it. Malaysians driving the point along nicely, enjoying the marginally faster of the 2 ends, Morton, out here.
Yeah, it's I must say that some days I find the drift is changing a little bit, so let's wait a little bit before we say whether it's the fast or the slow end. So far it's been the Koreans actually playing shots out on the back line.
It's interesting, isn't it, how quirky it is. Last Saturday I did semi-finals with Steen sat here, and he was sort of saying the drift is really significant, you know.
But it keeps changing a little bit. The only thing that's consistent is the sideways drift from left to right as we're looking down at the court.
Service over. 7, 10.
No hanging around then between these points, these two teams rattling through this opening game.
Which is very nice. It's nice to have that continuous play, not disrupted too much by breaks and so forth.
Service over. 11-7.
Well, in keeping with the overall sort of theme of the start, the Malaysians, who came out rip-roaring, have raced off to an 11-7 lead after just 6 minutes of action out here on one.
For 20 seconds. For 20 seconds.
So can these two make amends?
11-7.
4 points shy at the moment. The Koreans can catch up in this opener.
Choi has looked a little bit rusty to me. Some of his blocks are of poor quality and not that strong in his interception as we normally see him. And of course, all around the service situation, he's not been serving well either. So that's confusion. And that's what I talked about, the rotational skills in their partnership. Before this time it was happening. However, both players went for the same shot, which of course is not the best. Good play by So Woo-yik. Saw a nice cross block shot, and furthermore that lift was a good attacking lift, putting his opponent a bit out of balance, and that was kind of forcing the mistake. That's good lifting from So Woo-yik, who's serving now.
Interesting, these two as well, the dynamic, because of course Choi Sulyu not as involved in mixed doubles as Seo Sung-jae.
No, that's sometimes, I think, hampering the performance of the Korean partnership is the fact that Seo Sung-jae is playing mixed doubles to a very high level that will bring him to quarterfinals and semi-finals of many tournaments, and then having to perform in 2 categories, it's not easy.
And also changing it from your female partner to
yeah, that
Choi
also takes a little bit of adjustment.
He's a lot bigger for a start. When you talk of rotating, it's a little easier to get around the lady than perhaps him.
But what a good start for the Malaysian team. 10 points up now.
7.
7 in a row.
Service over. 8-17.
Yeah, there's nothing between these two pairs in terms of ranking. As you rightly pointed out, Paul, one is 9 and one is 8 on the world ranking. But when it comes to the race to Tokyo, the Olympics, the Korean pair is presently qualified as number 7, and the Malaysian pair is qualified as number 8 presently. So let's see what the next tournaments are having in store for us, but as it's standing now. That's a wonderful shot from Choi.
9-17.
Yeah, he's trying desperately, isn't he, to fight his way back into this.
Yeah, forcing the lift from So Woo-yik. Good serving this time from Choi. Scored in.
Yeah.
But we have a challenge. Both the two Malaysian players very sure that one was going out, so let's see.
Yeah, it was both hands up, sort of synchronized, wasn't it there? Very alert, both of them. And on that basis, you'd imagine that it might just be a little long, given that they were so keen to lift their arms upwards.
But they've got two challenges, so maybe they think they've got at least one to spare. So let's see. Just out.
Eagle-eyed, aren't they?
Out.
Well done.
Service over. 11.
That was a good challenge, wasn't it?
18. 11.
Stops the run of points of the Koreans at 4, which was good because they were snatching that momentum back their way.
Good flick serve from Aaron Chia on setting the rhythm of Choi.
11.
Not always just serving into the tee of the court, the short, the low serve, but good variation.
So good in the flat hard game as well, the Malaysians, aren't they? Love it. He's been getting very, very involved out here, Aaron Chia. Suddenly 9 game points. Well, he wanted to finish with a flurry, didn't he? Was he a bit greedy there, Morten?
No, it's a standard shot. I would say a standard shot, just didn't work out. But I think this opening game, the two Korean players have been not good enough at their rotational skills. It's been too easy to pin one of the two players at the back, having to work side to side, and that has not worked well. They need to be a little bit more dynamic. They need to inject a little bit more pace into it, and not having one just stuck at the back and one stuck at the front. There needs to be some rotation, and in this opening game, I personally think it hasn't been good enough, and the two Malaysians completely capitalized on it.
Well, there they go, the Malaysians wheel spinning away in that opening game with great dynamics, good energy and intensity. And Chia and So take that opener just inside quarter of an hour, 21 points to 14.
Jangan keras tapi moving, jangan terus. Ini terus fast. Ya, nak turunin dulu. Jangan. Ini terus ini dulu. Aduh terus. Aduh lagi.
So it's a very good start from the two Malaysians who also qualified for the World Tour finals back in 2019, where they lost at the group stage.
Can the Koreans make amends?
Second game.
Choi Sulyo just settle a little bit more in their debut showing. It's a must-win game for them. But having said that, Morten, it is nice because, of course, this is a group group event, isn't it, for the first 3 matches? So they have got a little bit of wriggle room.
Yeah, sometimes we see that pairs or players are taking turns at beating one another, and then 3 entries in a group ending on 2 wins, and then we are down to, you know, calling games and points and all that kind of thing. So it can be very interesting when it comes to group plays now and again.
Service over. 1-2.
But I tell you what, whatever happens, Morten, I'm sure you'll agree, it's always good to get the win under your belt on day 1.
Oh, it's
nice.
a massive thing. If you can get the first win, that gives you good chances of qualification.
He's been electric at the net, hasn't he? And by contrast, the team opposite haven't really ignited in the front court yet. It was a lovely cross block, fairly routine really from Chia, but the Koreans just stone-footed, no fluency to the movement.
That's wide.
Service over.
How, Morten, when you are playing kind of clunky, unflowing badminton as a team, like in these two, without criticising too much, how can you turn that around? Is it relaxation, trust, getting a bit more aggressive, or what?
I think they need to be a little bit more aggressive, try to work their way out of it, to, you know, get a high pulse and really work hard. I think that could help them a lot. So it's all about injecting a little bit more pace. They're quite happily standing, I wouldn't say side by side, but there's not enough dynamic in what they're doing at the moment. It's a nice block shot from Aaron Chia. And that's long on the back line.
4 off.
Yeah, the service really letting Choi down.
5-4.
He's been owning the net, hasn't he? Really stripping his opponents of any time to respond. Look at this.
Seven, 4.
So we could have a very interesting situation in the group, because let's just say, for argument's sake, that all 3 pairs are beating the Russians, Ivanov and Sosunov. Then the Malaysians, let's say they take this one, and normally the 2 Malaysians find it very hard to play Asan and Setyawan. So if they lose that one, that means they got 2.
7.
But then what will happen is that if the Korean, who normally plays well against Asan and Setyawan, win that one, then all 3 pairs and combinations are stuck on 2, and then we are into that situation we just talked about earlier.
Yeah. What ifs and maybes? All those permutations will work their way.
We will know so much more on Friday, will we not?
Yes, absolutely. But you're right, it's a fascinating group, isn't it? So laden with quality, as of course is Group A as well. course, Group A with Li Yang, Wang Qilin, Hong Yu-sin, Theo Yi, and Ellison Langridge, and Lane and Vendy, the two English teams right up there in Group A as well, along with the number 1 and number 4 seeds. So this group hosts 2nd and 3rd seeds, and we're looking at the 2nd seeds right now. Back to us. Well, they're starting to settle, aren't they, the Koreans? They're starting, there's glimmers of brilliant doubles, but it has been the odd smattering, not much. I guess they've been denied and contained, kept at arm's length by the Malaysians to a certain extent. That's much better. There was intensity there.
That's good, solid play. Again, adding a lot of pressure on their lifts and placing their opponents out of balance as and when they're hitting the shots. The whole rally really well constructed. That's a good shot from So Woo-yik. The mere fact that he's not trying to go 100%, but he's going for angle and steepness. This one here, that's really nicely played. And well spotted that Seo Sung-jae is standing quite far back, and it's not easy for him to reach.
No nonsense point there from the Koreans. That was much better. They have definitely elevated their level in game 2 here. This is dead level.
Very loose from So Woo-yik. The Malaysians got away with it.
Best point of the match so far. Certainly the longest.
Service over. 10-9.
Right, 55 shots. Koreans much more proactive, driving the point, enjoying the faster end.
It's an interesting story about So Woo-yik. He was injured for quite a while some years ago, and he actually chose to leave BAM. In a very sort of a strange way, he returned as a part of a group of players in a special deal, and surely he's not regretting it today, that's for sure. Really done well with his old partner Aaron Chia. They used to play together as juniors as well. Really good play from Aaron Chia, once again taking off the base at the exact right time.
Yeah, the Koreans were in sort of reverse mode with the footwork pattern there, weren't they? And Chia spotted it. Look at this.
And a good solid finish from So Woo-yik.
1, 20 seconds. Score 1, 20 seconds. Eleven, 9. Play.
I'm sure they have a plan, the two Malaysian players, because every time they're scoring points, try here once again from Sovuyik, these very steep smashes, because the Korean pair is simply backing off too much in their defense. It's working very well for the two Malaysians. And that's a lovely return from Choi Sugyo.
10, 12.
Really well played.
Second seeds driving this match along really positively right now. They're the top seeds in the group and they're owning this right now. Bullying play.
Yeah, they're seeded number 2 based on the fact that they qualified as number 2 for the World Tour finals, and it's not based on the world ranking as such.
14, 10. Service over, 11, 14.
Left-hander having enough of being pushed around.
Yeah, they need to try to find the form that back in August 2019 at the World Championship took them to a victory against Gideon and Sukamuljo, who was well ranked at number 1 in that first round at the World Championship. They need to see if they can find a form like that in the second half of the second game here. Again, nice deep, steep smash from Aaron Chia, and on top of that with a good angle, so quite difficult for Seo Sung-jae to defend it. Setting up a 4-point cushion here, and perhaps it's decisive. 4 points at this stage could be decisive. That's going wide.
Service over, 12, 15. Service over, 16, 12.
Just snuffing out any Korean momentum, the Malaysians.
That's much better from the Koreans. That was well played by Choi. And here there's a hesitation in the rotational work again. Still got away with it.
Service over.
But surely some hesitation.
13, 16.
Yeah, they did well to turn that around, didn't they? Because there was a clunky phase in the middle of the point where they both looked a little rooted, glued to the spot. Made amends well, the Koreans.
14, 16.
Lovely flick serve.
Yeah.
Didn't he do well to get that down?
17, 14.
Yeah, the Koreans really have to move their defensive stance 1 meter forward. It's not so much the power smashes from the two Malaysians, it's much more the steepness of the smashes that's really making a difference. They have to one step forward at least, the two Koreans, to defend it a little bit better.
Over 15, 17.
That's a string gun in Choi's racket. That's clever play by him. That's really good play. Excellent play. Very quick changing his racket.
Little stumble on the way back as well.
Yeah. That's good work. That's very good work.
Oh, what a turnaround. Don't see that too often. The pair that ran off stage to change the racket, win the point.
I don't know if we get to see the block shot play by Choi that then eventually made him run out of court, change his racket, but that was a clever shot, that block shot. And it gave a good lift for partner Seo Sung-jae, and of course a chance to control everything.
And now the mad racket sprinter has had to go for his towel, he's so exhausted. But they're nibbling away at the scoreboard deficit with 2 consecutive points in this must-win game from their perspective.
That was an important point. Keep the 2-point gap for the two Malaysians.
He's been impressive, hasn't he, Chia? Been so dictatorial around the net, really bold. Nothing phases him. Silver Yik as well. Had a really good match. Finding the holes in the Korean defense.
Yeah, So Woo Yik's dad is the former international Malaysian player. Oh, confusion. Aaron Chia running in front of partner So Woo Yik and changed his mind, left it for partner, and that is causing trouble. So can the two Koreans close the gap here? It's becoming very, very close now. Good serving by Seo Sung-jae. Nice serve.
18, 19.
So it's getting close, isn't it?
It is. It's nail-bitingly close now. 19 all, 3 points in a row for Choi and Seo here.
That's perfect recovery. Well played by the two Koreans. Interesting to see if we're getting treated to a third game.
That was timely.
Once again taking off the pace, and once again the defensive stance a little bit too far back. And the two Koreans can't really move forward quickly enough. So 20 match point 19. Nice block shot. That's a fantastic rally. It's really, really good quality.
In the end, they get the shuttle to the deck. And Malaysian delight up and running in the Group B battles. Aaron Chia and Su Woo Yik, the second seeds, come through in a straight game affair. Quite frankly, they found another gear pretty early in the match, set the tempo nicely, and never really looked back. That was a fine finish coming through in straight games. 38 minutes required.
Yeah,
well, a compelling match point.
Yeah, and when you consider that it's when you're in a group play, it's so important to win when you win in 2 straight games, because should you ever start counting, that game can become extremely important.
Yeah, and I think they know that, don't they? They're absolutely delighted, understandably. Confirmation of the score, 21-14, 21-19 for the Malaysians. Aaron Chia and So Woo Yik, first winners in men's doubles Group B. So they're very pleased with themselves. As they take leave of the court, it's a job well done to open proceedings on Court 1 of the HSBC BWF World Tour Finals 2020. And up next, women's doubles. Kim So-young and Kong Hee-young take on Linda Effler and Isabel Hertrich of Germany. Don't go too far. Welcome back to the Impact Arena then, here in the Thai capital, Bangkok.